applying those?
Okay. We have had, I would say, a number of lessons, not just within the past year, but also since the beginning of this ITL project. I would probably mention two of them. The first lesson is about the involvement of women. We have realized that from the start of the project, we were aiming to increase what we have called gender participation, gender inclusion within the project by focusing mainly on the women. But we have realized that, especially given the context of Burundi as an African country, and given the cultural norms where the relationship between a man and a woman is directly perceived by some that a man should be on the top and below, and the woman shouldn't have a voice. We have realized that even in this coffee project, we have to take into account the cultural realities on the ground, which is mainly using what I would call a positive masculinity, which is involving more and more men to understand that women being promoted doesn't threaten them, that women being promoted doesn't tell them to be out of the project reach, but however showing them that if women are being promoted, if women are being enhanced to participate in decision-making processes, this as well is playing a good role for them. We have also realized that still on that first lesson that women being included, gender inclusion being taken into account doesn't necessarily mean counting the number of women involved in a co-op. Because traditionally, if you look at the coffee crop in Burundi, women are at the lower levels. They're the majority at the lower levels. They're the ones to plant, to take care of the plantations, to do the pruning, to do to planting, to digging the land, planting the seeds, etc. But when it comes to enjoying the dividends of that particular crop, you find that women have certainly disappeared, which is left solely managed by the men. So our lesson that we have taken into account now that the years are progressing is that men should not feel threatened by the inclusion of women. And thanks to our ITL project that proved us that positive masculinity, involving men as well in that fight against gender discrimination, can yield better results. And that also taking into account the qualitative indicators, not just quantitative, not just how many women are into co-ops, but how many, for instance, how many decisions have been made by women, how many influential aspects have been put up by women and not just men. So those are some of lessons we have learned within the project, and that was my first lesson. The second lesson I can mention is more in terms of the consortium of the partners. Some partners, well, we're currently working with 5 partners on the same project may not just sound as so easy. We have found that some partners may find themselves doing some overlap amongst themselves. We have capacity building partner, we have a research partner, we have a marketing partner, but we have some partners like Kokoka and Senak, which are dealing on a broad and wider range of areas. So the lesson learned is, as Christian Aid, as the overseer of the project, as the coordinator of the 5 partners, we have come up with something called collaboration plans, where we discuss, we meet regularly and see whether each partner is indeed doing what they are required to do. And not just that, how can we be ready for the 4th year, as Emery said in the beginning, which is the start of the project being dealt by 2 partners instead of 5. So how can we ensure that ABS, University of Ngozi, and Twin, that are the 3 partners exiting by end of year 3, are doing the best so that the beneficiaries, represented by Kokoka and Sanak, have sufficient ownership and appropriation by the project. This is a constant learning that we are enduring, which is a very good sign that I can mention and be proud of as a lesson learned, amongst others. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Christian and Emery. And if you have any questions on the Burundi project in, the the coffee project in Burundi, then please contact your representative at Christian Aid. Christian and Emery, thank you so much for your time, and we hope that the next year proves to have even more impact. Thank you.